up, beautiful people? It's your girl Paula with
your girl Siana.
Senje Siana. She's Senje Siana.
I never been kunita Senje.
It's because you love other people's kids.
Sikuzi hata sitaki wa.
But you said men are other people's kids.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They are cute though.
So welcome you to another segment. Another segment of Coach Moments podcast. I've been here and about trying to figure out whether we need to transit as a nation and start working for 6 hours only. Because I feel like we are already tired from the economy, tired from the governors, tired from external wars and insufficient funds, tired from fuliza. We have suffered.
Chap.
Kuna chap. So today we are tackling a fascinating revelation from flamboyant Nairobi city lawyer Donald Korir. He recently shared that since 2020 you know time tulipigwa na COVID.
Yeah.
COVID ilinipiga ilinilokia Mombasa. Lakini good thing nilikuwa nakula biryani. That was the sweetest part of COVID. I was enjoying biryani with some nice pilau and we'll sneak to the beach once in a while. Yeah. So huyu flamboyant Donald Korir revealed that since COVID experience, his entire staff, not just him but everybody who works kwa hiyo law firm yake wana operate for 6 hours workday from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. And this had me thinking. Mm-hmm. It had me thinking about so much, especially as a nation where we have Gen Zs. Wenye nimesikia they are ghosting their employers.
Yeah.
Is it true?
Yeah, it's true. I've done that, so it's true.
We listen and we wonder.
So I'll give you an example. For example, like I'll give you an example of industries. Different industries operate differently. You get. So if someone is more in the, for example, service industry or maybe people in the medical field, that would make sense if someone is working longer hours and all that kind of stuff. But there are some jobs where, like I'll give maybe digital marketing kinda, so or an industry that is in that field. So your boss expects you to be there maybe from 9 to 5, but then you realize everything that you have on your desk, it's something that you can still deliver while working from home. You don't need all that commute. And then unapata maybe you have to commute. You're commuting. Kwanza I find it as a waste of time commuting. Personally, because
so you'd rather work remotely.
So I'd rather work remotely. Even for me, I usually find I'm more productive when I'm working from home than when I'm even at an office.
But nobody is. I feel like as a Gen Z, I'll sleep.
No, you have to remember you are employed. You're working for someone, so you need to have your work ethics intact. You know, this person has employed me, this person is paying me. So for me, I just speak from my own experience, from my own personal perspective. I don't see the need of me coming to an office or to a workplace daily with the type of work that I do.
So you don't like to commute?
Number one, I don't like commuting. Number two, I don't like sitting in a matatu. That's true. Like
you can buy a car.
Right now I'm at a point where I'm praying to God anifungulie nje ninunue gari. Even if you buy a car,
changie ni senja nunue Probox.
Yeah, so I think
utaenda na Probox.
Hata Probox ni sawa tu. But hata nikiwa na hiyo gari,
what are you driving?
Yeah. Hata nikiwa na hiyo gari, it doesn't make sense for me to come to an office. No, just sometimes I think even you guys have had that experience. Unaenda kwa ofisi, unapata umefanya kazi ya 2 days within 6 hours umemaliza, and then the whole day unafanya unatumia wifi ya office. So it doesn't make sense. It's
just something that was instilled in us, and we tend to think that when you work longer hours you're more productive. Yeah. And that's a lie.
It's a lie from the pits of hell.
Research inaonyesha, research indicates that focused work often comes in bursts, perhaps around 90 minutes intervals, followed by a need for a break.
Yeah.
Does the employer allow you to get a break?
We kwanza kupate
Do you get a break as Kenyans? Do you get a break as Kenyans?
Kwanza kama unafanyia muhindi
Then
kazi.
the same research inasema aje, trying to force prolonged concentration often leads to diminishing returns. Does the employer give you breaks? It increases errors. Do you get breaks? And burnouts. So those extra hours beyond our peak focus, truly, are they like really productive, or we just spend time going through the motions?
Yeah, true, because those extra hours don't make sense until you just have to log in to work at 8, then log out at 5, and then your kazi umekaa hapo from 8 to around 12, ushamaliza kazi yako within 4 hours, and then what are you doing then?
Given the fact that human concentration, due to shambiwa research, like you concentrate hata even if you're working from home, you can't. I don't think you can concentrate for those 9 hours.
No.
You'll be there, ukiingia kwa office the first 1 hour 2-3 hours utakuwa uko hapo,
umechoka.
But then after that akili nafikiria vile utaenda kungoja gari, upange line ya gari,
una check out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I agree with Korir.
Yeah.
I feel this is the way to go. And how I hope that maybe other employers can emulate him, because I also tend to agree that 6 hours job work time is more productive. Why? When you clog into your place of work and unajua vizuri you only have 6 hours to do a certain task, and then umeambiwa like concentration span yako ni limited, you will be so committed into trying to deliver that particular work, ndio rush maybe home. And then also the 6 hour pia inakupea your privilege to have time with your family, have time with your friends, because we have so many people here
even with yourself.
Exactly, to have time. Uende hata ufungue maji hapo, tengeneze ka bathtub, ukae hapo, usip ka wine, you know. I think that's what we are looking forward to, because they're having employers here who are keeping the employees in an office from let's say 9 a.m. paka 6 p.m.
8 to 7.
8 to 7. I'm like, out of the 8 to 7 hours, I'm sure this person ikifika saa 7
asha check out,
ako CBD. Like the person is in the office physically, but the brains ziko CBD.
Yeah.
So but then this only applies to certain industries.
That's
kuna industries zenye like kama hizi digital creation. I don't even see the essence ya mtu kuingia kwa office in a digital creation world. Huyu mtu tu akae tu kwenye yaka, as long as akona internet, let them work from wherever they are.
As long as they
and then also with Gen Zs, I think Gen Zs, these are a generation that questions everything. You try to shout at them at why did you.
I'll give you an example of an incident I had. I think it was last year. So this job, I think this muhindi alikuanga anashautianga kila mtu.
So you work na muhindi yani?
Yeah. So
you've lived more than your age.
Yeah, I know. So this time this muhindi comes. I actually remember it was on a Saturday. Because I have a problem working on a Saturday. So I remember it was, so he said I can come in on Saturday, and then for me I used to work on Saturday for 3 hours. So the rest were leaving at 1. I was coming in from 9. The rest walikuwa naingianga 8 to 1. Mimi nikamwambia there's no way. So mimi nikaanza kuingia 9 to 12 on a Saturday.
Gen Z.
So I'll tell you. So what?
Gen Z.
That Gen Saturday, Z. He walks into
questioning everything, trying to panguanisha.
But then I was still delivering. That's why he did that. So this time he comes. I think there's something. He comes into that office, and then he starts shouting, and then I just
why?
There's a report I had given him, and he hadn't looked at it the previous evening on Friday, and I had sent to him. So alikuwa anakuja kunijaribu kunishautia. So
Gen Zs awashauti wangi.
So mimi alikuja and there was a lady seated there. Apparently she's a millennial, so alikuwa amekaa hapo kando.
Why blaming millennials?
So I'm not blaming. And also that boss was a millennial as well, that muhindi. So akakuja, and then he started shouting. No, nilisimama nikamwangalia nikamwambia, excuse me sir, don't you ever shout at me. I sent you the report.
What a confidence booster.
Yeah, I just told him I sent you the report last evening, Friday, when you were out. So it means when you logged into your account this morning would have found that report. Why are you shouting? He apologized.
And then bado ukaquit.
Yeah, I left. Sikumaliza huko wiki mbili. I sent my resignation letter and I want resignation. Yeah. Also something else also when it comes to time. Also people, I feel like same company, some employers don't really respect other people's time. Like wewe ulikuwa kazini from 9 to 5. So between 9 and 5, we have all that time for you to set up a meeting. Wewe unangoja tu ile time imefika 5, you call up a meeting. Mimi nilienda nikakaa hapo, nikamwambia it's 5. I'm supposed to be checking out. You had the whole day for me to come to this meeting. So there's no way I'm supposed to be here. Imagine I left. Mimi nikaacha watu wengine kama wamekaa kwa hiyo meeting. So you also have, as an employer, you have employed people.
Research inasema Gen Z generation. This is a generation that has grown up in a world saturated with technology and a greater awareness of mental health and work-life balance. They often prioritize flexibility, purpose, and impact over simply clocking in long hours. So an 8 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Yeah.
with an emphasis on focused work and personal time should be appealing to you people.
Yeah, because there's no way.
So do you feel like Korir's firm is
he's
the best place to employ?
Yeah, it's when it comes to time, because there's no way. Imagine, like, let me tell you, a lot of work, hata watu wengi, so many people check out of work by 10 a.m. And I gave you 8. 10 a.m. alisha check out. The rest of
2 hours later.
Wacha hata nini. 12 after amesha kula lunch. Gone. Akisha kula hivi lunch na kule hiyo saa ameenda hapo kwa kibandaski, ametoka hapo kibandaski amekula ugali matumbo na sukuma. Arudi hapo. Like that person.
Hey.
That person has checked out.
I just feel like we need to really weigh the productivity aspect than the hours someone is spending in a place.
Yeah.
If this person is going to be productive seated in an office for 5 hours, let them come, deliver what they're supposed to deliver within the 5 hours and log out.
Yeah.
If you feel like this industry you're in, productivity itakuwa
to take longer hours,
8 hours, let that. Tusianze pia kuiga Korir and say this is what we want to do as a nation. Yet Korir has figured out his law firm and he knows how the 6 hours work for him.
Yeah, he has figured out his industry. So you have to figure out industry. Even those of us that are getting into the job market, you also have to figure out your industry and understand this is what these industry demands from me. So when it comes to work-life balance, because let me tell you, if you are a doctor, a surgeon,
you love medicine.
Yeah. Ni kama ilikuwa niende huko anyway. If you're a doctor or a surgeon, let me tell you, your work-life balance won't be same as someone who works in digital marketing. That's difficult.
True.
Yeah, so you have to figure out your
and then
it's not even also
what if kukuwe na shifts.
Yeah, there are also
shifts. Feel there is a way we can figure it out. Tukuwe na we factor in productivity, a shorter span yenye iko na maximum concentration, and then what are working shifts. Kama ni hata wewe ni daktari, we agree like 2 medics to cover a day. Let's have one come in for 4 days. Hiyo attention yake itakuwa hapo. Ata focus on patient, amhudumie vizuri. Then you're putting this nurse here at one person ratio 1 to 100 people. Yes, this person is seated in this chair kutoka asubuhi. Ukosha hata peana wrong prescription.
Yeah, no wonder sometimes ukipata nurses, they are very nasty. It's not sometimes they're very sick kwa that person has some sort of burnout, amechoka.
So give up on that career then.
Yeah.
Give up.
Sometimes,
anyway,
yeah.
And then at the same time, most of the health chronic issues we face, zingine zinakuanga stemmed from hizo working longer hours.
Yeah.
You can imagine sitting from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. from Monday to Friday.
Yeah,
and then you wake up on Sunday, you're supposed to do laundry. Monday, you're just back to that.
Yeah.
And then in your entire life growing up, you are waking up, bado kirauka, like you've been waking up every day of your life.
Yeah.
Compared to someone who I love US. Someone who works in the US and anapewa tu span ya kitu kama 4 hours only. This person has time with their family, they have time for themselves, they have time maybe to chase other, maybe to go back to school and study, they have time to try and like build something up, maybe there's
even study a new skill.
Yeah.
So like these kwanza hapo health implications, autoimmune diseases, unapata mtu like,
are you a victim?
I'm not a victim of burnout. So because
but then as far as we are pushing for hizo shorter hours, let's also factor in the health implication ya pressure, like like when you're supposed to deliver, like umesema I can do this, unaona live na playing job, I can work under pressure.
Yo kitu siwezi eka kwa CV.
I can juggle this out. It doesn't matter how many tasks you're putting me to, I can do that. And then now umesema but you can't wake up, you want to work from 9 a.m. to 12. You're given like job, umesema you can work under pressure. That leaves you stressed up because you're trying to figure out how do I juggle all this and get done.
So you have to sit down and be honest with yourself.
How many
with
people,
with
how
yourself
honest?
And with your employee. Kama uwezi unamwambia employer, with the employer ambia, by the way, I can do this within a span of these hours. Na ukiona imekushinda sana, sema.
But then, you know, at some point as an employee, you don't have that negotiation power. When you come to my place of work, when you go to Rome, you do what Romans do. If you find like I have this task, I want it done within 6 hours, you don't come here and try to tell me one moment you're like you can do this within 5 hours, and then now you figured yourself out and you're like you can't do it within 5 hours.
So that's where unaenda unaambia employer wako, okay, I can do this within 5 hours. Sit down with your.
There's no room for trial also at the same time.
There's no room for trial. You have to be honest with yourself as a person. I'm an employee here and my boss wants me to do ABCD. So how am I going to make sure I achieve this by 12 noon, or how do I make sure I achieve this within this span of hours?
The moment you start figuring out how do I achieve this within this span of hours, pressure kicks in.
No.
Pressure will kick in, trust me.
It won't.
It will.
Just have your to-do list. Just have your to-do list,
and then, but yeah, that calls for a communication and collaboration.
Yeah.
Like when you're employed somewhere, learn to communicate, learn to express yourself. Only that at most extent, I feel like some of these employers, they don't listen.
Yeah, I know
and if they listen, they do judge you and fire you. They'll just find a small mistake and pin it on you and make sure you're gone, and then you're replaced.
I remember also there are some employers who are kind of like umekaa tu hivi umetulia, unapata umetumiwa a letter to fire you anyway.
And then we need to try as employees, ujue what you're skillful,
your strengths,
ujue what your strength is. So that ukienda hapa, you know once you know this is where my strength is, you're able to deliver. Not like unasema I can try. There's this CV that I was reading, and the person had written there, I am a work in progress. Akisema like yeye anaweza learn kitu mpya na, and then akishafika in such a context unapata like inakuwa ngumu, you can't deliver within that specified time. So I feel like this flamboyant lawyer is setting a pace that maybe employers need to try and see if that is emulatable, and we see where we can go as a nation. But then we as citizens, pia tujaribu, we make sure we are skillful and we understand what is being expected of us. Don't just walk into that office and say, I would like to work from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. when you know within that span of time how to deliver what is expected of you.
Or you want to work in a hybrid or remote setting, and you are very lazy, unapenda kulala.
Because by the remote setting inahitaji
discipline ingine kali sana.
Hybrid remote to call you to remind you need to wake up and deliver.
Yeah, hybrid remote, it needs a lot of discipline and dedication.
At the same time with AI.
And then also I just wonder how I don't know why a lot of employers or companies are so hesitant to even apply AI and these automation systems that are out there. Like there's a lot of stuff that can be done with AI and automation.
What happens to unemployed 62% unemployed young people?
So that's why right now you have to be adaptable to the new system. But while the world is growing,
You also need to
you have to grow with it. When the moment AI was introduced, I think as a young person, obviously you're out there as a young person, you have to understand, okay, AI is there. How am I going to implement AI?
Because you're competing with AI,
You're
so
right now
you have to try and make sure you're relevant.
Yeah, and AI is not going to replace you. Someone who understands AI, someone who understands tech is the one who's going to replace you.
We can do better still as a nation.
Yeah.
I was your host, Paula. This was another segment of Kush Moments podcast. Let me know what you think. Honestly, do you feel like 6 hours is what we need to fight for as employers and employees? Or you feel like this is a deficit, you won't be able to deliver what is expected of you? And at the same time, do you feel like these 6 hours, the scale and the payment you're receiving, bado tu ibaki pale pale ama you need an increment? And when you feel oppressed, speak up. Look out for another segment of Kush Moments podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Bye.